right, today I want to throw a little lesson together for the way I play the tune Hills of Mexico. I also threw together a tab for this, which you can find links somewhere um, on the description, or I'll put it somewhere that makes sense. But yeah, I got a request for this one through Patreon. So for anyone who wants to know, if you sign up for my Patreon, you can make requests for tabs and lessons. I try to do a couple a month. And yeah, this one came through, and I wanted to go through how I play it. I kind of picked this tune up, kind of a mix between how Willie Watson and Meredith Moon play it. But you could look them both up on YouTube. They have great versions. So I'm playing this song out of just the standard, like Cripple Creek tuning. Nothing special there. This tune the chord progression is E minor, C, G. And we kind of have this like repetition throughout the song, both when we're singing and in kind of this intro. So there's two parts. I'm going to kind of go over that intro instrumental part of the tune, and then kind of talk a little bit about the singing part as well. But so we can kind of break both the instrumental and the vocals into 4 lines. The way that I play that first line, we start with we can think of our E minor shape, but start with a hammer on the 2nd fret of our low string, and then bum diddy, and then we'll go up to the open on the next string, bum diddy. So, and now we're gonna hammer on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. So we have, and now we're gonna play our E minor chord. So. We're on our E minor, so we're gonna kind of do like 3 bum ditties on the 3 measures on that E minor chord, and throughout the song, I kind of do a pattern that's like 1, 2, and 2, and 1, 2, and 2, and. So we kind of have a normal bum ditty, and then a drop thumb bum ditty. So that kind of 1, 2, and 2, and we're going to play that 3 times on that E minor. So we get something like this. 1, 2, 3. And now I kind of took this next little riff from Willie Watson, or at least I heard him play it and then was like, I think this sounds right. But I slide up to the 5th fret on our 3rd string, do a bum ditty, and then I'm gonna do some pull offs. So I'll slide down to the 3rd fret, and then go down a string on the 2nd fret, and then back up to the 1st fret on the 3rd string, and then play 2nd fret on the on your G string right here. So we end up with. So that's kind of our first line of the instrumental section. So we get something like. 2, 3. So the 2nd and 3rd line are going to be the same, and they're that riff where we go up the neck. So it starts with same way as before. We hammer on, so we get that. So yeah, so we hammer on, and then bum ditty. Then we'll hammer on again. And now we're going to just run up this high string here, and we're going to use our ring finger. And we're going to use our ring finger because later on it's going to help us. But we're going to go open, 2, 5. So open, 2, 5. And we're going to do a normal bum ditty on that 5. So it'll sound like. And then we'll go up to 7. back to 5, and then we're going to lay down our minor chord here. So in this shape, we're ring finger 5th fret, middle finger 5th fret, index finger 4th fret, and I just avoid playing this open string right now, even though it works. But we get this minor chord. So that's why we want our ring finger to be playing this going up the neck, because when we land on the 5th fret again to play that minor chord, we're going to be able to lay straight into the chord, whereas if you had your ring finger or index finger down, you'd have to jump your whole hand. So we end up going with the neck like, and now we're going to go, so 5 on the 2nd string, and then 5 on the 1st string. And then kind of just do that standard, and that's our E minor chord a little further up the neck. From there, we're going to hammer on our C chord. So there's lots of fun little riffs that you can play out of these different chord shapes. So in this case, so far we've hammer on the C chord. We're going to pull off with our ring finger, play the 2nd string then, and we end up with a G chord. So we end up, we pull off, land on the 1st fret of that 2nd string, open on your 1st string, and we're going to pull off from the 1st fret on the 2nd string, land on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and then open on that 3rd string. So we get so that's that whole 2nd and 3rd line. So to do that one more time slow, we get so we do that line twice. And then we kind of have the 4th line, which closes out the form. And it starts the same way as the 1st line. So we get this time we're not going to do that fancy riff up the neck. We're going to just hammer on into our C chord. So we have our E minor shape. You just hammer on E minor, C. So we're playing, we do kind of that 3 measures on the E minor. And on the 4th one, we hammer on into the C. And now we'll do kind of that same, the same hammer on, or pull offs that we did to close out the 2nd and 3rd lines, which is. And then to close it off, we're going to hammer on the low string. And then we're going to play this little riff. And that's just slide up to 4, 2, open, 2, open. So now our last line sounds like this then when you put it all together. Cool. And so when you you play that closing riff, you're just on your G chord, because and this is where you can either choose to transition right back into the instrumental part or into the vocal part. The vocal part has the same general form, so you have this thing where you kind of have your E minor for 3 measures, C for 2 measures, and then you kind of go back to your G chord. So each vocal line, you need to listen to the song and get a feel for how to sing the song along with the banjo part, because the vocal lines all kind of pick up. They come in a couple beats before the chords do. So for example, when I'm sitting on the G chord, the verse starts on an E minor, but I'm going to start singing a little bit before. Now when I was an old Fort Worth in 1883. So in between a lot of the verse lines, I just do this little. So it's that same thing. Pull off on the 2nd string 1st fret, land on the 2nd fret 3rd string, and then open, and then you'll hammer on the low string. And then I picked this part up from Meredith Moon, but when you go into the 2nd and 3rd lines, I do this thing where I take that E minor shape and I slide it up to the 5th fret, and then to the 4th fret. And now we're back into our E minor. Same thing, 3 measures on E minor. So what we end up with is something like this. And he gave me a string of horses, so they could not stay. I nearly starved to death, boys, saying this, I'll have you know. And so, to close out the verse, instead of doing the we jump right back into the E minor. So I nearly starved to death, boys, and this I'll have you know, that I did not save $1 beneath the hills of Mexico. Oh, that's low. But yeah, so that final bit is we just are 2 measures on the E minor, up to the C. And then we're going to close out with that little riff. Hills of Mexico. And we're right back to that G chord again. So if we want to, we can just... But if you're right here again, you could also just go to another verse. So I called for my paycheck on that steamboat I did board. Yeah, so you know, I would use this video in conjunction with the tab that I provided, and if you have any questions about how to play it, just throw it in the comments. And I hope this was helpful. You know, I kind of just wing these videos, so yeah, and if you try it out, I'd love to see a video, post anything, or share it, send it my way, or if you post it, tag me. And yeah, if you want to request a tune, you can send it. You can, if you sign up for my Patreon, which you can find link in my bio, or wherever you're watching it, there's probably a link somewhere attached to it. So yeah, thanks for checking it out, and hope this helps you playing it. If it doesn't help, I apologize. And yeah, have a good one, and hope you're having a good holiday.